So that was a nice episode, but I don't know if I have too much to say about it, to be honest. I don't know. Every video I've made for this season has been ridiculously long, and I got a lot of reactions from this episode. We'll see what happens. So everyone comes back from camp. Tony and Spencer each recount where they and their alliance stands. And then Kaz launches into her big descriptions of Spencer, where she calls him a selfish college-age male and how that's pretty much the most selfish type of person out there, and there's a little bit of truth to that, both in terms of the stereotype and demonstrations by how the actual teenage or college age bracket has been behaving, because, well, it seems like pretty much every generation states that the generation following them basically gets worse once they hit the teenage years, ever since the term originated, and yeah, I'll fully admit there's a lot of arrogant males that are in my age group. I don't really associate with them, but I know they're out there, and heck, a few people would even say that I'm kind of arrogant. Mainly how they perceive me in these videos, or a couple of the comments that I leave, who knows? It's perfectly possible, come on. And then she also mentions how he's being kind of jerky and the way he's treating everybody, and we've also seen that in his confessionals, and a couple of people have commented on that. I think a few of the people at AfterBuzz mentioned that. Oh yeah, if you haven't seen the AfterBuzz TV video, you really should check it out. I highly recommend you watch from 22 minutes 30 seconds onwards. Trust me. Okay, so, what was I going to talk about? Oh yeah, Spencer being jerky and the confessionals. Well, yeah, he has kind of been, but so has Tony in a way, which is why, even though I'm really enjoying them, I'm still kind of iffy on them. Even though, of course, I'd be kind of iffy on them anyway, because on the one hand, you've got the person who's been controlling most of the game and has been in the driver's seat for a while, but then you've got someone who's actually a very good strategic player that has been fighting the odds for a long time in the game, because usually it's somebody in that underdog position that wasn't prominent at first, but then gradually becomes prominent. In this case, Spencer's been prominent since the beginning, so yeah, it's tough, but definitely, Jeff, quit with saying that everybody always roots for the underdogs, because I actually didn't root for 4 or I2. I'll be very honest, okay? Anyway, but yeah, people being jerky in the comments, this is confessionals, I mean, this is nothing new. Come on, if you've seen as many seasons of Survivor or as Big Brother as I have, so then that Survivor auction, and yeah, that was the cheapest auction ever, although, well, it seems like it pissed most people off. I actually enjoyed that. Yeah. 20 or 40 bucks for a big thing of ribs. That's a bargain. I mean, like, I thought Kim getting that shower in One World was funny. Oh yeah, and then Trish paid like 80 odd bucks for a bowl of rice. That was hilarious. I'm surprised more people weren't laughing at that when they were doing it. And then, as for the advantage, well, more and more people are rising up to that, because, let's think here. Well, in Samoa, I think this is where the big advantage thing started. Jason and what's-his-face, John, were holding out their money, but they hadn't gotten the bidding system down, so it just kept alternating until Jason finally realized we both have 500, someone's going to get to 500 first, so he just did that. Then in One World, Troyzan, remember the advantage. Abby, remember the advantage. Then in Caramon, both Malcolm and Cochran, remember the advantage. Although Cochran went for the advantage, and Malcolm actually ended up going for the clue. I can't remember who came first, to be honest. But yeah, that system of drawing the rocks, that's actually pretty clever, although I don't totally get how you can determine who goes first when there's 2 people. Now, when there's 3 people drawing rocks, it makes sense. Jeff just goes to the contestant that's closer to him and goes down the line, but when there's 2 people, come on, rock, paper, scissors! Yo! Determine the order! Sheesh. But I thought it was very interesting that this advantage really just turned out to be a clue to another idol because, I mean, like, I thought it was crazy when they first re-hit a normal idol after Tony and LJ played their idols, but yeah, apparently they're going to keep on doing that. Now, I'm not totally picky about it in this situation because this is the first season where the Super Idol has been mixed in with ordinary idols, and since the Super Idol wasn't in there for the entire game, yeah, it makes sense, you know, they're trying to balance it out. It could be that they strengthen the rules on what they do with the idols in later seasons if they keep on doing this, but that's what happened with normal idols anyway, because, yeah, they were hid the idols in Fiji, so there were two idols for the longest time, but that was before they figured it out. Like I said, in China, they didn't re-hide them at all, so, Trust me. Bleeding allergies, they've been driving me nuts all day. Alright, so, Tony ends up getting the clue. I keep wanting to say advantage. You know what I'm talking about. But it didn't really bother me which one of them got it because I'm so interested in both of those storylines. One could go and the other one would still be pretty interesting, although since Tony walks around and finds this normal idol, he's guaranteed Final Four. And I've looked up the air dates for what's left of this season. We have 2 more episodes, then the finale and the reunion. So the season comes to an end May 21st, if I'm doing the math right. And for all the people wondering if it's going to be a Final 2 or not, I've done the math and looked back at other seasons, and no, there's not going to be a Final 2. They're just going to pull a Philippines, where because one contestant left the game due to abnormal circumstances, they're just going to change the Day 37 Immunity Challenge into either a reward or an advantage in the final Immunity Challenge, and that's going to piss a lot of people off. But yeah, it's a Final 3 with an 8-member jury, unfortunately. 7 jury members, come on. Seriously. Okay. And then we have those interesting dynamics between Tony and all the women. Now, he does have some reason to be nervous. I'll freely admit that, because given the way he's interacted with all of these women, he's done reasons to piss all of them off. I don't have to go into that because you can figure it out at this point. And, well, just... it's the way the game goes. We've seen the sexes try and gain up on people all the time. Both in, Battle of the Sexes seasons, although there always ends up being that situation, and not Battle of the Sexes seasons, Micronesia, and I think there was one other time. Nicaragua, thank you, although that wasn't as intentional. Anyway, so getting rid of Tasha over Spencer, that's good for a few reasons. Yes, the girl-guy ratio, but also Spencer, well, as Kaz revealed, has been kind of jerky to members of his tribe, although he does have reason to be. Whereas for Tasha, well, she hasn't really ruffled anyone's feathers, because she doesn't even have a vote against her right now, along with Trish and Kaz, believe it or not. Yeah, how are they still this far in without having any votes when people have been observing them for a heck of a lot of time? It's amazing, if you ask me. So that immunity challenge, I wasn't picky who won because there's so many interesting characters, and I'm not going to go into a discussion of the challenge because we're going to get tons of that's what she said. Yeah, Michael Scott, where are you? Tasha winning, not bad. I'm pretty sure she's the first woman in tons of seasons to win 3 individual immunities in a row, because Monica won 2, Kim won 2 in a row twice. Any other woman has done it. Pav's only won 2 times in a row. Amanda's won 2 times in a row twice. Yeah, I think the last time it was done was actually Kelly in the very first season. Well, she won 4 in a row. So yeah, Tasha's only 1 immunity away from tying the record. Not bad. And she's got 3 or... No, it is 3, sorry. 3 more, so, interesting. So, back at camp, Tony has to choose between either getting rid of Spencer, his biggest threat, or he can go after the supposed Girls Alliance and target Jeffra, who had flipped on him in the past. And honestly, there's pros and cons to each of them, because Spencer is a threat, but... And it stands to reason that if he stays in the game, people are going to get more concerned about him, but for him to stay in the game, he needs help, so... If Tony helps him, he could potentially put himself in a bad position. Now, it's not as big of a deal as in most situations, because Tony's guaranteed top 4. But... Although he somewhat prevented that by showing the normal idol. And then the advantage, of course, to getting rid of Spencer is that his biggest threat is gone, because, yeah, after LJ got booted, Spencer is his biggest threat, and then it's Tasha, and then it's Trish, I think. That's disputable, that last one. Alrighty, so then at Tribal Council, in the end, Tony convinces Wu to flip over, then they get rid of Jeffra. The last beauty in the game, and one of 2 remaining minor characters, the other one of course being Wu. So, I wasn't too bothered by this, because even after LJ left, Jeffra didn't do too much, although she got enough camera time after he left to justify her existence, and she reminded us that back at the beginning with the Beauty Tribe, she was, you know, talking to everybody, and trying to make good relations, but of course Morgan either had the falling out with the tribe or they had a falling out with her. Who knows? Morgan's issue is kind of complicated. And even though it seems like LJ and Jeremiah aren't too happy with her, it seems like they've tied everything up since. So like with most everyone else on the Beauty Tribe that was booted off after the merge, they're all reasonably fine with each other now, but it's so interesting how it went from being free brawn and free brain and full beauty, and now all of the beauties are gone. Not bad. So, ultimate retrospective of the Beauty Tribe, actually, they surprised us at how willing they were to cooperate with each other. Did pretty great in all the challenges, a very reasonable camp life situation, and, yeah, not bad at all. They didn't do the best job of getting rid of the high school image, but what do you expect, you know? These things happen. And now we're down to Brain vs. Brawn. Oh dear. Alright. So now the big question is everyone going to turn against Tony? Well, yeah, they're going to, but they know that since he has the idol, he could easily just play it, but actually it makes sense for Tony just to not play that idol, because since I'm pretty sure that he can get to the final 4, and that the last time he can use either idol is the final 5, you can probably figure out why. Just do the math for previous season situations. At the final 6, he just sees the votes, gives the super idol to Jeff, and then just plays the normal idol the next time. And then, of course, you could easily win individual immunity for either of those 2 times, even though, so far, it's actually been Spencer, Taj, and Wu that have done it, even though Spencer and Wu have only done it once. Okay, anything else I feel like mentioning? Guess I did have a lot to say. This is fairly normal-sized vid for this season. Nah, I feel like we're gonna have to wait another week to see where everyone stands, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. There hasn't been a dull episode this season yet. That's not to say that there haven't been any negative episodes, because like I said, episode 7, the merge episode, was kind of negative. And I think there was one other episode that I didn't like. It was either episode 3 or episode 8. I forget which one it was. Yeah. Bye, guys.